Hey, well, this is Zacchaeus with another live word of the day. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. And today I'm talking about cursing your children out and belittling them and calling them names. Words hurt. Words are powerful. That old saying of sticks and stones will break my and words will never hurt me. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me is a lie. It's a lie because words do hurt. Words do penetrate. So be careful when we discipline our kids. We don't want to call them any names. It's called a damage. You're bringing down their confidence. Once you do that, stop the name calling. Don't call them stupid. Don't call them dummy when they do something wrong. Remember, we were once kids at one time too. Remember that. Do stop the name calling because they grow up resenting you. They not only grow up resenting you, they grow up in a world, that's cruel already. And if you're cursing them out, they remember that. Even when they get older, they remember when daddy called me stupid. They remember when mommy called me stupid. They remember that mommy called me dummy when I did something wrong. We all make mistakes. We're not exempt from mistakes. So be mindful of how you speak to your children and what we say to our children. Yes, no name calling. It's not a good thing. So love our children no matter what. Embrace them, especially at a tender age when they're very young. When they're very young, they're like sponges. They feed off of the energy that you give them. They watching mommy and daddy. If you're a single parent, they're watching you. Don't think that they're not watching you. They have their eyeballs on you and they watching every word you say and every move you take. Trust me, when you think they're not watching you, they're watching you. Most kids observe their parents and pattern after their parents. You want a young, tender age, this is a time to represent for them. It's a time to mold them in the way the Lord wants you to mold them. That means teach them, spend time with them, teach them how to pray, teach them how to it's important to teach them that family is important no matter what. Family is important. And tell them to put God first, pray. I teach my children how to pray. Very important. Very important practice to have. Very important. Oh yes. Oh yes. It's very important. So spending time with your child is important. That's why I don't understand when the parents are separated. As a father, or mother too, but as a father, you don't show up to a child's most important moments in their life. Remember, this is when they're young, this is their precious moments. And this is the precious moments that they're watching you. So when you're a parent and you don't show up to the very important games, a football game you don't show up to, a um cheerleading show that you don't show up to for her, or you don't show up an important event in their life and you don't show up, you say that you're gonna show up and you don't show up, you gotta question yourself as a parent. Remember, people do what's most important to them. And if your child is not important to you or your children not important to you, it shows. It's not what you say, it's what you do. Action speaks louder than words. And love is an action word. Love is an action word. And what we say, the kids feed off of. And if you are a person and you want to show that your child that you are a person, that you're a parent, you love them. But how you show that you love them? By spending time with them. How you show that you love them? By showing up to their special events. How you show that you love them? by taking the time out to teach them things, taking the time out to discipline them too as well. Can't always be a kid's friend. We have to discipline them, but in a loving and godly way. When you punish your children, when you punish them, you take the things that they love away. Why? Because you're teaching them responsibility, you're teaching them accountability. They can't go walking around here spoiled like the world owes them something. Or walking around, the kids walk around here that you gotta hold their hand for everything. No. We show them that we love them by disciplining them, yes. Teaching them certain things, yes. But also show them that you can never get hard work. Nobody's gonna hold your hand. Nobody owes you anything. You gotta go out and make things happen for yourself. You gotta trust, you gotta pray. Teach them how to pray and trust in the Lord and the Lord only. That's right. Teach them. Yeah, so always listen to your children. Don't hurt them mentally, emotionally. Always try to be open-minded on what they're going through. Because remember, we were children at one time too. We were children at one time. So me and my wife, we always try to have a open ears to listen to what they're going through. Why? Because kids hide things. They're not gonna tell you everything. But if you are so rigid with your discipline that they're afraid to come to tell you anything because they feel you scream at them and you yell at them and you blow up at them, they're gonna hide certain things from you. And they may, even if you're doing all the right things, they're their kids. They're gonna hide things from you. But it's our job to guide them in the way of the Lord. And we shouldn't use profanity, shouldn't use verbal abuse if you're in a dispute with your spouse. You should refrain from certain things. Why? Because the kids are like sponges. They feed off of those energies. And when kids feed off of those energies, they grow up with the same energy. And if you have toxic in your relationship and the kids are around, they're gonna feed off of that energy. And then if when they're in school, they're gonna retaliate. When they're in school, they may lash out in different ways because you're supposed to having a tipsy-turvy relationship. Kids need to be guided, not provoked. They need to be guided in the right direction. They need to be don't be their friend, because we're not their friend, we're their parents. But someone that they can run to and talk to. Don't provoke them to wrath. Don't provoke them. Don't start cursing them out and name calling. You never know what that could do to their psyche. Well, the live word today is coming out of Ephesians chapter 6, verses 4. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger by the way you treat them. Rather, bring them up in a discipline and instructions that comes from the Lord. Well, this is Zaccheus with another live word of the day. God bless and be safe out there. Peace and blessings. And thanks for tuning in.